Hey, New Hope grade schoolers. I hope you guys have had a great week. Congratulations to those of you that are done with e-learning already. And to those of us that have just a few more days, we are so close to being done and we're all going to be able to enjoy our summer. Today I want to do something a little bit different. Today I want to review a story with you that we've actually studied not very long ago. It is from Mark chapter 4 and 5. And the particular story that we're going to focus on in this little lesson is Jesus calming the Sea of Galilee. Pastor Randy is going to be teaching us that discipleship is faith over fear. So I want to review the story with you. So as we're live streaming the sermon with our family and our friends, if we decide to join with a Hope group, that we are able to remember back to the story and understand what Pastor Randy is talking about. So, from Mark chapter 4, we learn that Jesus has had a long day of preaching. And that night, he and the disciples decide that they're going to go to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Well, they get about halfway across, and when they do, a big storm kicks up. It wasn't just a little bit of wind and rain, it was huge. The rain was pouring down. The wind and the waves were so strong that the boat was rocking back and forth and taking on water. The disciples thought they were going to drown. They worked furiously to try to keep the boat afloat. And what was Jesus doing? He was sleeping. So the disciples continue to work to try to keep the boat from sinking. They lower the sail. They throw the anchor overboard, trying to prevent the boat from sinking. They're bailing out water with buckets as fast as they can, but the boat is still sinking. So they get to a point where somebody decides that they're going to wake Jesus up, and they say, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Well, at this point, Jesus wakes up and he stands up and he says, "Quiet, be still." But was he talking to the disciples? Mm-mm. He was talking to the wind and the rain and the waves. And they did exactly what he had commanded that they do. They were still. Everything grew calm. Well, he looks at the disciples and says, "Why are you so afraid? Did you not think that I could take care of you?" Well, at this point, the disciples move from being so afraid to being amazed, and they turn and look at each other and they say, "Who is this? Even the winds and the rains obey him." Now, that must have been an amazing day for the disciples. They go from being in the middle of this huge storm where they thought that their boat was literally going to sink and that they would drown, to watching Jesus control the weather just with his words. And that took faith, and they had fear. And so we're going to talk about that and how being disciples and the act of discipleship is having faith over fear. And we're going to learn about that from Pastor Randy. But before we do that, I would like you and your family to discuss a few things about the story and how it can apply to us. There's a few questions just to go over. But yeah, take a minute, discuss it, and see what we can learn from this story. So the questions are, what do you think the disciples were the most afraid of? How did Jesus calm the storm? How did Jesus calm the fear of the disciples during the storm? What fears do you have? And can Jesus calm those fears? And if he can, how does he do that? So, like I said, we're going to hear about this story from Pastor Randy and how it can be applied to our lives and what we can take from it on the application side of things. If you are more of a visual learner, I'm going to include a link to a video that tells the exact same story in the description part of the YouTube video that I upload, so feel free to watch that. And as always, if you guys need anything, if you just want to chat, if you want to say hi, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. I hope you guys have a great week, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye-bye.